When the British Army surrendered, ending the American War of Independence, the English military band played a tune called "The World Turned Upside Down." The lyrics talk of cats chasing dogs, cheese eating mice, and fish swimming in the air. When it comes to the world being turned upside down, however, the song cannot match what Jesus says. The poor have everything, the hungry are full, the sad are happy, the insulted are blessed, the rich are losers, the full are hungry, the happy are pitiable, the popular are doomed. That certainly sounds like the world turned upside down. Or does it? Does Jesus really turn the world upside down? Perhaps the world is upside down to begin with, and therefore we cannot recognize it when it is set right. Maybe Jesus is calling us to be right side up. That's hard to believe. I've known rich people and I've known poor people. The poor do not seem happier than the rich, nor do the rich seem miserable. Hungry people are really hungry, and when I finish a big meal, I don't feel empty. Happy people really do seem happy. Suffering people really are miserable. And people who are liked really seem happier and healthier than those who are unpopular. All of that is so obvious that we base our lives on those facts. We live in the real world, and that world has rules for getting along. If we follow them, we may be successful. If we don't follow them, we're almost certainly not going to be healthy, wealthy, and wise. But what if what we think of as the real world were not real after all? What if the things we have to do to live effectively were as ridiculous as bouncing around on our heads from place to place? Should we pick ourselves up by the toes and begin to go around looking upside down? On what basis could we make such a radical decision? The only reason we have for thinking that the world might be upside down is Jesus' say-so. Should we take his word for it? That depends upon who he is. If he be one among many moral or religious teachers, then the risk that instead of merely appearing to be upside down, we might really turn ourselves upside down is great. Maybe he had a vision problem that I would buy into without evidence or good reason. On the other hand, if Jesus be indeed who the church has proclaimed him to be, then we had better take his word for the way the world is supposed to stand. After all, if anyone knows which end is up, it should be he. I recite a creed that proclaims Jesus to be true God of true God. But if I really believed what I say, wouldn't I be turning my world, or letting him turn my world, upside down? If today 2 billion Christians were, for the sake of our brothers and sisters, to stop looking for material comfort, what would happen to the world? There might be economic chaos. There might also be an end to hunger and injustice. The world would be turned upside down. If today 2 billion Christians were, for the sake of serving others, to stop looking for our own pleasure, what might happen to the world? The entertainment industry might collapse. There might also be a healthy sharing of friendship, fellowship, and joy. The world would be turned upside down. If today 2 billion Christians were, for the sake of standing upright before God, to give up doing what makes us fit in and be popular in our twisted societies, what would happen to the world? We might be called fools and might even be persecuted or crucified. We might also be the light of the world. The world would be turned upside down. The gospel presents us with a decision and a consequence. We must decide who Jesus is and upon what authority he says some very strange things. If we decide that he knows how the world is meant to function because he made it, then we have to accept the consequence. We've been living upside down. In that case, we have to get right side up. It will look upside down. It will, after a lifetime of the other way around, feel upside down. But for the first time, we may see the world the way it looks to God.